is finally a licensed barber, and I'm super proud and happy to announce that I did pass my state barber board exam, which was actually where the last YouTube video I dropped, kind of where I left off, because that was actually the week before I went to go take the test. But now, obviously, I passed it, and I'm a licensed barber, so I'm on to bigger and better things. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, encourage you to, just follow your dreams, because, man, this has been a dream for like 4 years, ever since my sophomore year of high school, and now I'm finally licensed, and I have more opportunities to do, what I want to do in life, and I'm super excited for that. But enough of sharing my personal life. I do have a YouTube video for you guys today, so it is what is it? I almost forgot. It's a faux hawk, V-fade, and ube if you're Hispanic. But I'm gonna take you guys to the haircut, show you how to do it, so let's get it.
Fly melodies.
So when doing this haircut, I almost always start in the back by creating the V shape that's kind of gonna dictate, where I place the fade. So I start off making a small V in the back, and then I kind of slope out towards the bottom of the ear, and it gives it kind of a cool effect. Alright, and then to start off the haircut, I'm gonna do it just like I would on a regular fade, except it is a mohawk. So we're gonna give it a round shape, if you want to think of it kind of like a sun. And we're gonna keep the arches, so we're gonna start below it, just so we can keep the C-cup area dark. And the shaver, it just gets a little bit closer and make that fade pop. And then for the second step of the haircut, we're gonna go ahead with our clipper all the way open, following that same shape that we created with our first guideline. And to get rid of that line that we just created between the bald and the open, we're gonna go ahead and close the clipper and then gradually open it as we get up to the top of that second guideline. And then, by the time you get to the top of that guideline, it should be, for the most part, blended out, and then you go back and detail it as much as needed. And this is our number 1 guard all the way open. And again, following that same shape. Try not to make the line too hard. You want to make it easy to take out for the most part, but you still want to be able to see that guideline that you made. Alright, so here we're going to start fading down. So this is our number 3. And I'm just taking that to where I want the highest point of the fade to be, blending into the top of his curls. So it's kind of debulking, thinning, whichever term you'd like to use. And then here, this is my 1.5 all the way open. And that line that was between the 3 and the 1 open, this is kind of gonna, line it up a little bit, and then we'll close that 1.5 guard until that line is blended out. I actually grabbed my 2 guard here because that 1.5 wasn't cutting it, it wasn't taking that line out. And this is just like, to emphasize the point that, it's okay to just do trial and error, and kind of see what works and what doesn't, and go from there. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time through. And then I grab my half guard right here, and this is what kind of brings the blend all together for the most part. So I'll go into that line open, and then gradually close it until that line is blended out. basically the fading system. And then after you get through the fading system, that's where that detail work comes in. So right here, I have my Endless Masters because this is my favorite clipper to detail a haircut with. Just because, you know, it spreads out that blend a lot better. So I'm grabbing it here, starting off close, opening it, getting into those dark areas, using my corners, and, you know, defining the haircut. This side of the haircut actually recorded at a lot better angle than the other side did. So on this side of the haircut, you can actually see me blend the back a little bit better than the other side, which is really what most people struggle with when doing this type of haircut is, you know, blending the back of it. But, you know, once you have a system and a process that you go through on every haircut, it's just a matter of perfecting it, really. So, you know, I did bald, the first guideline, and then I'm doing all the way open. And then I'm gonna start off closed and open it gradually as I get to the top of that second guideline, as I did on the other side. And I actually have quite a few clients that get this haircut, so this is a popular haircut for the most part in the shop. So it's definitely something you have to learn how to do. And then here I have my one guard open, following that same shape. So let's talk about the state board exam that I recently just took. You know, there was a lot of nerves going into it just because, you know, it was for real a lot on the line. I just went through a whole year of school and I was not trying to drive back to Columbus because Columbus is where I had to take my test and I live in Lorain, Ohio. So it's like a 2.5 hour difference. So if I didn't pass it the first time through, I would have to drive back, and, you know, I wasn't trying to do that. So it was kind of a lot on the line, especially since I wanted my license. But as far as the test went, once all the nerves were out and stuff like that, the hands-on portion wasn't too difficult, you know, if you knew your steps, if you paid attention in school and stuff like that. But as far as the written or the computer test, that is really where, you know, some people struggled. Like, if you didn't take practice tests, if you didn't really learn what you were supposed to learn in school, then you were going to fail that computer test. There was no way around it. But, you know, me personally, I passed the test with a really good score. So, you know, I was super excited when I passed that test. It was kind of like, man, I'm really licensed now. But, you know, it feels good to be in the shop. You know, it's a really nice shop with some really cool people. And, you know, I've been waiting to be in there legally for a very long time. But here, you know, I created that V shape at the beginning. So once I did the fade, I'm going to go back and detail it to make sure it's even on both sides. And, you know, it came out really nice. And, you know, I'm about to do the front lineup. So with the front lineup, when I keep the arches or the C-cups, whatever you want to call them, I like to line those up first and make those even, because from there, all I have to focus on is the box. And, you know, all I gotta do is make that part straight. So I start at the top of the arch and then go to the bottom and then meet in the middle. And then, you know, you really detail the rest with the razor, so you don't have to apply too much pressure. So moving on to the front hairline portion of it, I start by tapering it down with the one guard open, you know, just to lay those hairs down nice, because if not, you know, the hairline is just going to look weird because it's all going to stick straight up, and then some parts are going to be really light, other parts aren't. But I always start at the highest point of the hairline and then, you know, even the rest out from there, keeping it real natural, but also making it sharp. And then here, with the razor, you always want to stretch the skin to make sure you don't cut them. And the razor really just takes it to another level. But after the razor though, you'll see. gonna go ahead and use my airbrush. And you know, the airbrush is temporary for the most part. It lasts up to 2 to 3 days depending on how much you scrub it. So you know, I have a card that kind of traces out the hairline and the arches and stuff. So I start by placing the card and then spraying it, wanting to keep it as natural looking as possible, and it just enhances the haircut. Now you can spray it in the hair because it is a hair color, so it's not really gonna damage the fade, but just make sure you spray it in the dark areas to make the blend pop that much more. As you can see, I'm sprayed it in the fade right here, and you know, it looks really tough. And then I do it along the front hairline to just enhance it, make the hairline crisper, and the clients love it. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you want to make the haircut look the best it possibly can while they're in your chair? It doesn't even matter if it washed out or not. If they feel great and it looks great, then dope. And then I finished it off with a quality product, make the curls pop. But this is how you do the Uve, burst fade, V fade, dope haircut. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and we out.